Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, A Patriotic Heart. I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for quite some time now. My videos that I do, I post them on social media, but I wanted to start a YouTube channel. So this channel is essentially going to be about patriotism and faith. It's going to be about how the two are connected and why we cannot have a free republic that adheres to the principles of liberty, that embraces our Constitution, that embraces individuality and individual freedom over collectivism without faith in God. It gets complicated. I will delve into it in future videos, but basically, any society that tries to build itself up as a just, moral, and righteous society without God will eventually break down and become a barbaric, tyrannical society that crushes the rights of the individual. Because the inherent nature of man is evil. We are inherently evil, but we're capable of good, not the other way around. So to base a society or a nation on any system other than one of faith eventually leads to the fall of that society. Great thinkers in the past have said this. Most recently, generally speaking, a Russian scientist or mathematician, Igor Shevrovich, who wrote a book called The Socialist Phenomenon, stated that any society that deviates from its faith eventually embraces a collectivist or socialist type of system, and it eventually collapses. There's a lot of reasons behind it. I'm sure there's a lot of psychological and sociological reasons, and I'm sure I'll be delving into some of them in future videos. But faith is essential. We see what's happening in America since the early 1960s when we started to slowly kick God out of our society. It was a slow process that we started to turn away from our traditional values. We turned away from our faith. We allowed people with ill will and ill intent into positions of power and influence that have eroded our values, that have stolen the hearts and minds of our children through ideological subversion and propaganda. Many of our young people no longer believe in God. They embrace a socialist kind of system, a collectivist system. And history shows those systems always oppress the individual, eventually collapse, but not before they leave a wake of destruction and death, unlike anything else. Today is Ash Wednesday, as you can tell. I got my ashes today. It was done a little differently. The priest sprinkled a little bit on top of your head. So why do I have on my forehead? Well, they gave you a little envelope so you could do it yourself because of COVID. But it begins a season of Lent, and as I've been saying on other videos that I've posted on social media, this is a very important time for Christians and for people that want to rediscover their faith. They could use this to reconnect with the God of their youth, or just discover God, to discover that there is no life and no meaning apart from faith in God, and to examine yourself. It's a very important time, a very solemn time, and it's very essential and even more important now because of the cultural war that we're in, and a cultural war that the side of righteousness is losing. America stands on the edge of destruction. There are a lot of people of ill will, evil people, if you will, that have their hands on the levers of power and influence in our society, that want to see our free market collapse because they think it's racist and inherently evil, while it's not. The free market, with minimal government intrusion, if any, allows for this free exchange of goods and services based upon what the consumer wants. It doesn't see race. It doesn't see anything else other than the relationship between the people that produce the product and the people that consume it. It's the influence of government. It's when the federal government gets involved is when people with a political agenda, usually a leftist, collectivist, communist political agenda, start to tinker with it and tinker with it deliberately to break it down that we have a problem. Since they want to collapse the system and they want to change the system, if the system is fixed, they go in and they break it and they say, see, the system doesn't work. That's what collectivists is doing. That's why you see a lot of these Democrat mayors, including the one in New York where I live, deliberately push through ideas and policies that increase crime, decrease wealth, increase poverty, and increase crime and violence. They do it so they can say, see, the system doesn't work. We need a new system. So anyway, this channel is going to be geared towards politics and faith. And if you want a free America, if you want your kids to grow up in freedom and prosperity, away from the heavy hand of government, because it's not these, it's not the fake monsters that the left pushes forward. That's the problem. There's no evil racists hiding under your bed, but you know who's hiding? Well, not even hiding. You know who's in the shadows threatening you? It's government. It's leftists in government and in think tanks and in other institutions that want to listen in on everything we do and say. They want to control our thoughts. They want to control our words. They want to control our ideas. And they want to censor, oppress, and put down anything that would disagree with their so-called push to a communist utopia. So I'm hoping to cover all this in these videos. I hope that this makes sense. I'm just doing this without any 1, 2, or 3 takes. This is just the first video I'm doing, so I'm going to upload it. And I look forward to making more videos, sharing my ideas, getting some feedback. And look, you know, you could disagree. You could be a hardcore atheist and a hardcore leftist. I don't mind engaging in honest, civil debate. But, you know, I guess I'm asking for too much, because on social media, you really get that. You get a lot of bitter comments, and it leads to arguments. So I'm not looking for that. I just want to share my ideas. So God bless. For those of you that agree, keep the faith, push forward, and don't be intimidated by the left, because that's all they got is intimidation. They're a bunch of bullies and cowards. Live your faith and your patriotism out loud. And that's all I got to say for now. Look for more videos coming soon. Ciao, and God bless America.